Well, well, well. Welcome.
Well,
See what I've done there? Welcome. Get it? Hope you do. Um, Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. I am your host, Liz, and I'm joined as always by my co-host, Marcus.
hello.
And Pepita's actually here too, but she's not. She's camera shy today.
Oh, love that bottle of juice right behind you.
Well, yeah, I figure I'm gonna want more, so that'll be a halfway through the podcast thing where you get to watch me try to pour juice.
Gotcha. Um, so this is where we recap the week in wrestling. And we're on a Sunday today. We had to take yesterday off to catch up on SmackDown and Rampage because we didn't get to watch it on Friday. I had a company thing that I had to be in attendance for, so.
Mark said fuck SmackDown, actually. That was the words that came out of his mouth.
Yeah, and then I proceeded to do the crotch chop and then kick the door down on my way out.
Yeah, it was really weird and kind of destructive.
Yeah. So we've got a lot to talk about today. We've got a ton to talk about. No predictions though. We don't have any predictions to do. Um, so we've got a bunch of news, including Mandy Rose being released. That's going to be a big topic today. We've also got Ring of Honor Final Battle, as well as NXT Deadline to recap. Two great shows, and a lot that went on during those shows. We've also got a scheduled match from WrestleMania already planned out. We've got Vince McMahon planning a return to WWE. And Matt Riddle being removed from TV for 6 weeks. For what reason? We'll find out. And then all the weekly stuff too, minus NXT and Impact, because we did not watch those this week. But of course, the week we don't watch them, Mandy loses her title, and Motor City Machine Guns become tag champs.
Yeah.
So, and we have to recap our predictions as well, so that we know who is the Pinfall Podcast prediction champion. All right, so let's talk about some news real quick. And I know I said that you would be taking over this starting this week, but looks like it's starting next week.
Yeah.
All right, so first things first, Vince McMahon, according to Wall Street Journal, plans on returning to WWE, but it's just his intentions. He's voiced his intentions on returning, and I'm sure like Triple H and Stephanie know his intentions before they were public. But you gotta imagine they're not gonna let him come back. The board especially is not gonna let him come back.
No, I don't think that'd be a very smart idea. I feel like that would be like horrible for stock.
Yeah, although he owns like majority stock, there's still the board of directors that he needs to get past. And considering that when he was still active, WWE was at like the lowest market value ever. Maybe not ever,
Yeah.
but in a very long time. And now that Triple H is in charge, stock's gone way up.
I mean, like, did they say what capacity he wants to come back in?
I think same role as before, CEO. This is a quote from the article. Vince McMahon has also told people that he intends to make a comeback to WWE, saying he got bad advice from people close to him to step down and that he now believes the allegations and investigations would have blown over had he stayed. I don't know about that. It would have just affected the company at large. And now that he has stepped down, the company can succeed a lot better. And Sean Ross Sapp tweeted about all this and said, numerous WWE higher-ups that I've spoken to in recent months have indicated to us they want nothing to do with that and they are happy with the direction. I haven't heard one person there itching for a Vince return. So like I said, it's just Vince who wants to return.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't see it like it's weird that the Wall Street Journal would like report on this in the first place because like it's like the ramblings of an old man.
It is, but it's a hell of a headline.
It is, but
And it's also mixed in with more allegations towards him. That was kind of the other meat of the article. Um, However, it doesn't seem very realistic at all that he'd come back at all.
no, I can't see that happening. It'd be so bad for business.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like I can't even think of like anybody like in like the fan world where like people are like, oh, it would be great if Vince were back. Like,
Oh no, there are Vince apologists out there. There are people that think he did nothing wrong. I mean,
I guess that's not true.
remember when he made his goodbyes on Raw, and then people, or when Stephanie was there introducing, and then people were
Yeah.
chanting Vince.
Yeah.
And when he came out to save face that one time, people were chanting him. Is like there were signs saying like Vince don't go and stuff like that.
Yeah. I guess that's fair.
It's
I don't know.
insane.
Fucking stupid. I it I guess there are just people that are like, well, obviously he's above the law. Like he must be above the law or like
Yeah,
consequences.
or thinks he is.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm saying that like I'm sure that there are like plenty of people who think that he should be,
Yeah,
which is just whatever.
I mean the fact that he hasn't gotten any prison time at all,
Oh my god.
any jail
Yeah.
time.
I mean, I guess I'm not shocked that he didn't get any prison time
It's
because
not
like
shocking, but yeah,
he is a rich guy,
yeah.
rich white guy.
But speaking of returns to WWE, William Regal, first week in January will begin at WWE, and this is from PW Insider. He will make his return to WWE as vice president. So a very big step up from where he was previously.
Wow.
Still very much a Stamford, Connecticut role. Probably not on TV at all. But this, knowing how impactful he was with NXT, I have a very strong feeling that this will only be beneficial for WWE, having him in a bigger role. So that'll be very exciting.
I'm sad that we're not going to see him on TV, but I am happy that like this could be really good for the company as a whole.
Yeah, and we might see him on TV. You know, they might have an episode in Stanford or in
Well, no,
Connecticut
they did. Isn't there like didn't like wasn't the whole deal with like Tony Khan that like he can't be on TV now?
until January.
I thought it was like until like January 2024.
No, I don't think so. Because I think like he wanted to be with his family. Like the whole thing was like he couldn't go to WWE as a whole, but then he waived that because he wanted to see his family.
Well, it's gonna be great. I'm glad that he's coming back.
Mhm.
I wish he hadn't left in the first place, just because like, or gone to AEW in the first place. I guess because like it was kind of awkward.
I I am glad he went to AEW. Like I disagree with you there because look at what he's done to Wheeler Yuta's career, Daniel Garcia's
True.
career. Uh, the whole JAS as a whole wouldn't have been as successful had it not been for William Regal's BCC 2.0. You can't really speak for Anna Jay and Ty Mello very much because they kind of weren't present in that whole feud. But I think definitely Wheeler Yuta is in a much better position because of Regal. Um,
That's true.
and that's something that William Regal is very valuable for, is elevating the younger talent. It's one reason NXT was so successful under him. And it felt so vibrant because you had so many different younger talents coming in, being showcased so well. But Now we'll see where it goes from here. You know.
Yeah.
Um.
Um, I was just gonna say that it does feel like Wheeler Yuta's like got the wings now to carry himself,
Yeah.
which I don't think he had quite before. So
Mm-hmm. Speaking of NXT, though, a planned match for WrestleMania features a big former NXT talent. Um, what is planned right now is Brock Lesnar versus Gunther, um, which is definitely a dream match for a lot of people. Two of the beefiest guys in the business. And I think this is the perfect use of Brock's part-time career. Instead of like coming back and immediately challenging Roman for the Universal Championship, it should be used to have these dream matches against like Gunther, um, and just making use of his time there for the fans instead of kind of being shoehorned in, Goldberged in, if you will.
yeah, I guess it's fair. I think that like um using him as like kind of like an exhibition
Hmm.
as
Yeah,
opposed to like a character was much better.
look at his match against Bobby Lashley. I mean, I don't think you watched that. What pay-per-view was that? It was the last one. I don't remember which one that was.
I may not have.
Was that Crown Jewel? Yes, that was Crown Jewel. Um, right? Was it? Yeah. Yeah. That was like their last pay-per-view, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Or premium
Feels like
live
so
event.
long ago.
It does. Um, but yeah, that was a match that was done very well, and one of those stories that like is perfect for a part timer. Um, I mean, look at I know this is still under Vince, but at WrestleMania 2020 when John Cena faced Bray Wyatt, like that was an incredible feud. Had one of the best cinematic matches of all time. Um, and Brock versus Gunther, I'm sure will be fucking incredible.
I am interested to see because, like, I mean, Gunther's always so good at like hard ass matches. So I am
Mm.
interested to see where they'll take it because I feel like that'll be like scary.
The only thing that needs to happen though, Gunther needs to win.
Yeah, no, if Brock wins, then it's like,
They could get away with Brock beating Bobby, and especially the way they did it. Um, but Gunther needs to beat Brock, especially the way they're taking Gunther's story, being like literally the ring general and just being the top guy, the strongest, toughest dude in the whole roster. He needs to beat Brock. But in other news, we have Mandy Rose was released from WWE. Um, and we will also touch on this when we talk about NXT briefly. Um, she was apparently released for, allegedly released for pictures that she posted on her, what was it, Fan Time? Was that the name of it?
no, wasn't it something camp or something?
Bandcamp? I think it was like Fan Time, but there was like a sect in Fan Time called something thing that you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, she released some lewd pictures onto there, charging money with her fans, and then they leaked out because of one fan, quote unquote. Um, and she was released because of that. Had to relinquish, or not relinquish, but lost the title to Roxanne. Um, which apparently that was like a match under 10 minutes. It
Really?
was like 8
Ooh.
minutes, I think.
Oh, that's shit.
Yeah, like have it at least 15.
Yeah.
Um, but it's she has like I don't doubt that she makes more money on this on fan time than what she was making in WWE. Um, and apparently, to go along with this, she had apparently requested her release 2 weeks before she was released. Now, there's no idea if this was them granting her release, or if this was completely unrelated. But it is a
Yeah.
shame. It's a bit of a bummer.
It's a bad look too, honestly.
At the same
Um,
time, if it had said it, like, we don't know what the contract says that she signed, but if the contract that she signed said otherwise, like you can't, release pictures like that, and she
I
breached
mean,
that
at the end of the day,
contract.
aren't they just freelance contractors? Technically? Like, isn't that like yeah, so if you were freelancing for somebody and they were like, "You can't, use social media in X, Y, and Z ways," that'd be fucking weird.
But you did kind of answer it yourself. Contract, or they still sign a
It doesn't
contract to work the
but
job.
the thing is, like, if you're not gonna give somebody health benefits, you really probably shouldn't have a say in how they use their social media. That's just not fair.
Hmm.
Like, that's just wrong and weird, honestly.
I mean, the way they use independent contractors so loose anyway. Like, how do we know they don't get health benefits?
Because that was, like, a whole thing where they were
Was it?
like yeah,
I thought that was the thing
because
with
like, Andrew
NXT
Yang got
UK.
mixed up in it too.
I thought he wanted to get mixed up in like with like AEW and in indie
No, he
stuff.
was like he made a whole thing about how he was like, "It's, like, stupid that, like, they can tell you how to do, like, X, Y, and Z. They control, like, 90% of your life, but they won't give you benefits."
Hmm.
So, I just think that's wrong. Also, it kinda sucks for Roxanne Perez because, like, this puts, like, a bit of a shadow on, like, her getting the title, I think.
You see, I don't see it that way just because she won the first Iron Survivor match. She has that like on her resume, and it only makes that feel bigger if she takes the title away from Mandy as well. Um, Now my only gripe is they should have had a longer match. Um, but she seems to be in good spirits about it. She's tweeting positively. Mandy is. Um, and I don't doubt that she, like, I don't think she'd return to wrestling, honestly. I feel like if I was in her position, at least, if I'm making fucking bucks on fan time, just take pictures on fan time, post them, and that's your career.
That's what you wanna do. Yeah.
Maybe show up on the indies every now and then.
Yeah. I mean sorry. Luckily she oh, I don't wanna have hiccups right now. Luckily, she built up her character a lot, and she got a lot better while she was in NXT.
Yeah, going to
So,
NXT was definitely a very good move for her. Because before that, she was like the whole Barbie doll thing. Um,
yeah.
Being a part of Toxic Attraction was massive for her, and did her so much justice. Um, but now we just wait and see whether she chooses to come back to wrestling, or sticks to fan time. Either way,
Yeah.
she's kind of in a good spot to be, because she could just do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Um, and last bit of news: Matt Riddle was taken out by Solo Sikoa on Raw TV, and has been out or is going to be out for 6 weeks. In kayfabe, it's because of injury, but apparently the real reason is, according to Bodyslam.net, that he is going to rehab for 6 weeks, because he failed a drug test, and if he fails another one, he will be released. So, and apparently WWE does not test for marijuana anymore, so it's something that is not marijuana related. Um, but Yeah.
That's a shame.
Hope he can recover and get off whatever he's on in rehab. Um, I will say it could have come at a worse time because he's probably the coldest he's been on TV. Um, it's not like
Yeah,
back a few months ago when he was like hot shit up for the Universal title and stuff like that. Um,
yeah.
so, but still, wish him luck in rehab, getting better, getting healthy. Those hiccups straighten you. You want to go to rehab for hiccups?
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about some wrestling. So we started off the week on Saturday with Ring of Honor Final Battle, and Ring of Honor. You and I both tied. There were 12 predictions each. We tied 7 and 5. 7 correct, 5 wrong. So that was a very interesting way to start off the night because it was Final Battle and then Deadline. So we started off in the pre-show, Mascara Dorada versus Jeff Cobb. Cobb wins with Tour of the Islands. Very fun match. Then we had 2.0 versus Shinobi Shadow Squad. 2.01 via double DDT. Then we had Trish Adora versus Willow Nightingale. Willow won via Dr. Bomb. It's so great seeing Willow on TV.
Yeah.
TV, pay-per-view. Just love to see her on my screen.
She's
So
a really
good.
great wrestler. She's got a really great character too.
And it seems like since they took Saraya in for WWE that she's being featured more. And I feel like Saraya has got a good eye for talent. And hopefully they're actually taking her advice when it comes to the women's roster.
Yeah.
Then we had Top Flight versus the Kingdom, and the finishing move was fucking out of this world. It was like some kind of doomsday device from the top rope. It was incredible. This was definitely an awesome match that I definitely recommend people watch. It was some good shit, especially for the pre-show. Then we had a very interesting match, Roosh and Drilistico versus AR Fox and Blake Christian. And I told you what happened with this match. So AR Fox was going for the cover on I think it was Drilistico. And the ref counted to 3, but Drilistico or Roosh, I forget which one was in the pin, kicked out. Like right at the 2.99 mark. And everyone kind of questioned it when it happened. AR Fox looked surprised as hell. Roosh and Drilistico were mad. And so to get their heat back, they just went berserk. Trashing ringside, attacking Fox and Christian. And it was to the point where they were just going for chair shots on AR Fox. Roosh even like threw the chair at AR Fox's head. And shit like that is very dangerous, especially when it's unplanned.
Yeah.
But this would have been a great pay-per-view to do a live watch along for.
So sorry.
I wish we'd have done one, but now we know in the future to do Ring of Honor watch-alongs.
Yeah, it's a shame.
But since after this, Roosh and Drilistico have been suspended.
But not Preston for Preston.
Not Preston Vance. He was there at ringside, but he was not involved very much in the destruction, so he was not suspended. So then we had Athena versus Mercedes Martinez for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship, and Athena won the title with an O face. This was an awesome match, and a very awesome win for Athena. And a little fun fact, Athena, with this win, was the first woman to ever have, to ever win the Ring of Honor Women's Championship, the NXT Women's Championship and the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, until Tuesday when Roxanne won that just a few days after Athena did. They both accomplished the same goal in the matter of a few days. Yeah.
That's funny.
After that, we had Shane Taylor and JD Griffey versus Swerve in Our Glory. Swerve in Our Glory picks up the win with a power slam. This was a super fun match. I'm going to be saying that about a lot of these matches because Final Battle was a ton of fun.
Yeah, I really got to go back and watch that.
Yeah. I might still have the replay on Bleacher Report. Maybe. I gotta see. Or we get a Honor Club, which it might be available on there eventually.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I think it's like 30 days. But this was great because it had some awesome moments, like character moments between these guys. Swerve leaves at one point because Keith is going too soft on JD Griffey. And Swerve also accidentally kicked Keith in the nuts. And then I think almost hit him in the face. But he walks out, and Keith is left by himself to fend off both Shane and JD. And he does. He
Really?
He nails a power slam onto JD. And yeah, definitely an awesome win. Recommend everyone watches it because it was one of the highlights of the show.
Plus, now we get like pissy Swerve, which I love.
Yeah. Then we had the Embassy versus Dalton Castle and the Boys for the trios titles. The Embassy picked up the win with a team powerbomb. So Embassy are the new trios champs. This was also fun. Brian Cage came out in Chris Kanyon tribute gear. Chris Kanyon was one of his mentors growing up, or getting into the business. So yeah,
that's really cool. I like when people do tribute gear. I think that's kind of like sweet.
We then had an interview with Top Flight. They're confronted by 2.0, and they start brawling all the way out to ringside. 2.0 gets on the mic, and Matt Menard says, "If Ring of Honor is so great." Oh no, Angelo says this. He said, "If Ring of Honor is so great, why did it die in the first place? And there's one man that can resurrect it, Chris Jericho." Menard pulls out a hat for Claudio, the purple bucket hat. But then Yuta comes out and scares him off. And then we have Yuta versus Daniel Garcia for the Pure Championship, and this was fucking awesome. This was my favorite match of the night right here. Garcia's whole goal in the match was to forcibly remove Yuta's rope breaks. There was one point where he tied Yuta in the ropes and then kept attacking him until the ref counted for the rope break. So Yuta never willingly used any of his rope breaks.
Oh, very cool.
Garcia does heal it up a little bit, doing the whole JAS thing, a little bit of sports entertaining, but it was still a super awesome match. Yuta picks up the win and wins the Pure Championship. And another match of the night. This was potential match of the year. Briscoes versus FTR, double dog collar. Oh my god. Crimson masks on everyone. Absolutely incredible match. The Briscoes picked up the win, winning the titles, with one of the Briscoes choking out Dax with the chain. It was one point, one of my favorite spots in the whole thing. Cash has, I think it was Mark Briscoe, up in the gory bomb position, and then he brings the chain behind him and starts choking Mark out with the chain, still in the gory bomb position. Oh my god, so good.
I'm a little upset because I wanted FTR to kind of be belt collectors, but
this is for the best though. This probably means they'll be featured on Dynamite more.
I hope so.
I feel like removing most of those titles will help in that. But after the match, the Ass Boys attack FTR, and but the Briscoes come out for the save and help them. And then it was announced for Dynamite that it'll be the Ass Boys versus FTR. The Ass Boys have been getting so much of a push, even without Billy Gunn. Because
I
they're
think it's funny.
yeah.
Yeah, because like they were kind of a joke at first, and now
Mm-hmm.
it's like they're sort of being taken seriously, which
They're
is
still like kind of a joke, but like a joke that gets big matches.
yeah.
Because
I
they're
don't know.
also
It's like,
they're main eventing the Jericho Cruise.
oh, are they?
Yeah, it's them versus Jericho and Danhausen,
Damn.
which is actually like, it sounds like so much fun.
When is the Jericho Cruise?
I don't know. Um, Jericho Cruise. I think it's 2023 is the one coming up. Is it the Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea? Looks like it. February 2nd to the 6th. Oh, there's even like a day counter. Oh, that's cool. 46 days. Ooh, lineup. Oh, it doesn't have matches lined up yet. It's just got a little bit of a roster. The entirety of JAS is going to be there, of course. But yeah, looks like fun.
Yeah. It usually is a pretty decent time, I think.
Mm-hmm. But now we get to the beer break of the night. Samoa Joe versus Juice Robinson. Which the reason this was the beer break is because Samoa Joe just wrecked Juice the entire match. That was the entire thing. I hope Juice gets
Kind of
featured.
embarrassing because Juice just got there.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, think about it from Joe's perspective. Like, he just had a match against Darby Allin where he wrecked his shit the entire time, and Darby is like one of the biggest TNT champs in the company. Like he just beat who did he just beat? He just beat someone big. Why am I blanking on who Darby Allin just beat? He beat Jay Lethal. So I feel like this is less so squashing Juice and just really pushing Joe. But
Yeah.
Joe retains the television championship. And then we had the main event, Claudio Castagnoli versus Chris Jericho for the Ring of Honor Championship. Claudio wins with the spin. This was a lot of fun.
The swing.
The swing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The beginning of this was hilarious because Jericho comes out for his entrance, immediately like just charges commentary, and you hear Caprice go, "Oh, let's go!" and they just sprint away from Jericho, like comedically just charging at them with the bat. Oh my god, it was so good. The match itself was a lot of fun too. But Claudio wins the title once again, so JAS has nothing. Nada.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder where they're going to go from here.
Yeah. There's a lot of questions because I don't really know what they would do next.
I feel like they were initially created just as like a little bit of a spoof on WWE, and having them feud with the BCC, like very much wrestlers versus sports entertainers, like that felt like their purpose. And but now I feel like they've been they've had such big success that they might stay around for a little while, feud with some other people. I don't know.
I just don't know who they would feud with next, because like
Yeah.
there's no other real stables. I guess Dark Order.
This House of Black. There's a lot of stables. It's House of
Isn't House
Black.
of Black a little bit busy?
There's LIF or LFI. There's the Firm. There's uh there's the Factory.
Yeah, that'll be perfect. That would actually be kind of funny.
Oh, that would be hilarious. QT versus Jericho, but they're both heels. I feel like was there another face faction? Am I forgetting one? Um,
I don't think so.
I feel like what they would do next is when Spears comes back from paternity leave, have him and FTR feud with JAS. I feel like that's what they do. Wardlow come back, kind of bring back the Pinnacle minus MJF.
Yeah, I see it.
Um, I don't. I guess it all depends on where Ring of Honor TV goes because they might just go over there. I don't know.
There's definitely like that's the one beautiful thing about the Ring of Honor stuff is that there's room for moving
Yeah, if
and
only it
like
wasn't $10
spreading
a
out.
month.
Yeah, well,
But yeah, that was our final battle. Now let's move on to NXT Deadline. We started off kind of interviewing some of the people that are in the Iron Survivor matches. Roxanne was the first one. She said she drew number 1. Zoe Stark was upset that she drew number 2. It's kind of Royal Rumble style rules where it's like 2 people starting off and then bring in people as they go. Then we interviewed JD McDonough, who was pissed off that he drew number 1. Axiom, though, drew number 2. I'm getting a notification on my computer right now. Then we had the women's Iron Survivor match. Roxanne Perez versus Zoe Stark versus Indy Hartwell versus Kiana James versus Cora Jade. Kiana was shut out. Only person in this match that didn't get a single pinfall. And Roxanne won. This whole match was awesome. Every Iron Survivor match was so much fun. Definitely like this is a perfect start for this new match type for WWE. And I hope I feel like they'd make it like a yearly thing. Just have like the Iron Survivor matches, just something that comes up every year. Make it their Rumble.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. We then had Alba Fire versus Isla Dawn, which was pretty fun. The way it ended just wasn't. It was kind of interesting, but it wasn't very good. Isla kind of like touches the ref's leg, and suddenly he starts spewing black goo. He wasn't misted or anything. He just started doing that. And apparently, the explanation given on NXT was that she used like a powder that is much stronger than the mist, much more powerful. I'm glad they actually like explained it. And
Yeah, I guess.
that just like distracted the ref, gave Isla the win. So, we then had the New Day versus Pretty Deadly. This was another blast. This match featured a twerk off. It also had a 4-way Eddie Guerrero like passing the chair kind of thing, where at one point all 4 were pretending to be knocked out. And New Day picked up the win. They're now what was it, Triple Crown champions.
Yeah.
And Kofi Kingston is now the most. He's won the most tag titles in WWE history. We
Good stuff.
then. Hmm?
It's a good stuff.
Yeah, and Booker T was pissed about it. Then we had Katana, Chance, and Kaden Carter with Idris Enofe, Malik Blade, and Odyssey Jones. Toxic Attraction walk in and then want a title shot, but then they're attacked by Ivy Nile and Tatum Paxley. I think they had that match on NXT, but just a little thing they had during the pay-per-view. And then we had the men's Iron Survivor match. And this was one of the best multi-man matches I've ever seen. This was incredible. The way they used the penalty box in this was outstanding. They had several brawls inside of the box. Axiom wrecked JD's shit. Like, he annihilated him in the box, and JD was shut out like Kiana James, not a single pinfall. And the finish was outstanding. Grayson Waller wins, and he gets the final pinfall because everyone had 2 minus JD, and Grayson pinned Axiom. And once you're pinned, you have to go to the penalty box. So you cannot be pinned after that until you've come out. He pins Axiom right as Carmelo was trying to get to it too. And so Grayson, after getting that pin, runs around the whole ring as Carmelo's chasing him. And Grayson just keeps pulling people out of the ring repeatedly so that Carmelo can't get a single pinfall. He can't go for Axiom because he's been pinned. And then, like, it's just perfect utilization of the rules, and the best way to, like, introduce this type.
Yeah. I was surprised that Grayson won, but it sounds like an interesting match.
And this is one you can definitely go back and watch and not pay $50 for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Definitely recommend it. And then we had the main event, Braun Breaker versus Apollo Crews for the NXT Championship. Braun Breaker won with the spear. I think it was 2 spears in a row. Yeah, it was a pretty fun match. The story behind it was like they are like identical. Like they would use the same moves, have the same strategies. But Braun just out-toughed him.
Yeah. I'm disappointed by it, but I also just really want Braun to lose the fucking title sooner or later.
I'm not as disappointed just because I feel like Apollo would have been the wrong person to take it from him. You know?
I agree with that.
I feel like the person should be Carmelo.
Yeah. He's like their next like Adam Cole, so I would not be disappointed with that by any means.
Yeah. I maybe see Grayson take the title from him. Maybe.
I was gonna say that, yeah. It's a thought.
But honestly, it's either Carmelo or it's Joe Gacy.
I could maybe see that.
The way that they're pushing Schism, I almost said Sphincter. Schism. The way they're pushing Schism, they could get to the point where Gacy like could legitimately take the title away.
I wouldn't be completely shocked. That'd be a great story.
Yeah. So that was Deadline. Now let's kind of quickly run through the rest of these shows. We had Monday Night Raw, which has become like a blast every week. We start off with Bayley versus Alexa Bliss for #1 contendership. Alexa Bliss wins via Twisted Bliss, and then Becky attacks Io and Dakota during the match, and kind of taking them out of commission. So I think Bliss is... I don't know if they announced when that match is happening. Bliss and Bianca. I don't think it's coming up this week. I think it's just something that's kind of impending.
Yeah. I feel like they may have, but I don't think they did.
Because Bayley's fighting Becky tomorrow. I don't think they do Bianca and Bliss in the same day.
I don't think so either.
But after that, we had AJ Styles versus Chad Gable. AJ wins via Styles Clash. We had Johnny Gargano and Dexter trying to figure out what to do with the rest of the money. They've got a whiteboard with everything. There was a little Cameron Grimes tease on the whiteboard. There in the
Was it?
top left, it said "to the moon."
Oh,
We
I
like
did see that.
acknowledged that it said "to the moon," but we didn't connect that it was Cameron
No,
Grimes.
yeah.
Um, he should just go straight up to main roster,
Yeah.
but with the "to the moon" gimmick.
Yeah.
Um, he was ready from like day one.
I think he needs to come in as like old Cameron Grimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe the Stonks Cameron Grimes, because that was also pretty
Maybe.
good.
Yeah.
Um, then we had Judgment Day versus Street Profits and Akira Tozawa. This was a lot of fun, especially because Tozawa got a lot of shit in. Like, he was taken seriously,
Yeah.
as he should be.
Yeah, it was nice to see.
Um, what was it? Damian Priest got a razor's edge onto Tozawa for them to win. And so we then go back to Gargano and Dexter, and they go to the merch stand, buy all the merch, and then start giving it away in the arena. They even broke out a T-shirt cannon, which is something I always pop to. But the Miz attacks them, tries to steal back the money, but Pierce comes out and immediately scolds him. Miz said he'll earn the money back in a rematch. Dexter accepts, but it's going to have to be a ladder match. And double or nothing. Don't know when that's happening. I think that might be tomorrow.
I think it's tomorrow because I think it was supposed to be like kind of like a Christmassy
Oh, yeah.
thing.
Did they?
Yeah, because they announced that it was next week, and like you can tell that the fans were visibly like, "Oh,
Yeah. Did they
not tonight."
pre-tape tomorrow? Or is it
I'm
live?
not sure.
'Cause I think
I
SmackDown's
think it's live.
pre-taped.
I think it's live.
Okay.
SmackDown would make more sense to be pre-taped because SmackDown is like the day before Christmas Eve.
Yeah, that's like the 23rd. Because I think they did that last year. They pre-taped SmackDown, but not Raw. Also, my face is blown out right now.
It's okay. Mine is. I'm trying to like keep my hair here.
No, you don't look blown out at all.
No,
Not to me.
there have been times where like it's gotten close.
Yeah.
I just realized, by the way, that I haven't cleaned the menorah and it's going to be sundown soon. And I'm like, retro.
So then we had Io Sky versus Candice LeRae. Io wins. This was an awesome match. Also, Io wins with an over the moon salt. We then had Elias versus Solo Sikoa. Solo wins with a spinning solo. Another match, Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. Rhea wins with a Riptide. But one thing to note, Asuka did not have any face paint on, and she looked very serious in her intro.
Yeah, she seemed very like over everything, like
Yeah.
done with everyone's shit.
And she's also been posting a lot of her murder clown gimmick. So I hope they bring that back. That'd be insane.
That'd be pretty cool.
We then at one point Asuka misted Dominic in the match.
Yeah,
And
because
so,
Dominic put Rhea's foot up on the ropes.
an interesting thing to note, the mist was blue. Normally, I know you mentioned she's done blue mist recently, but normally it's green. Apparently, in kayfabe, the blue mist is supposed to put the other person to sleep.
Oh,
Apparently, the color mist has different effects in the past.
that didn't happen.
Yeah, Dominic didn't go to sleep. But he was kind of like he was a lot more affected than the mist normally affects people. Because he was in medical, he was getting treated, and he was like screaming in agony.
And Finn was like, "Go to your happy place. Go to your happy place." And I was like,
He was screaming
Finn,
for
what?
mommy during the match too.
I'm kind of over that. I hate that.
Judgment Day is the best. Oh my god.
Judgment Day's fucking hilarious.
Talk about a 180. They went
Yeah.
from the corniest, dumbest gimmick to like one of the best acts that WWE has.
Thanks, Finn Balor.
Yeah, Finn's fucking goofiness and his beanie. Oh my god. They broke out a Santa hat during the live show. I feel like this week they'll bring it again.
I hope so. That'd be funny.
Um, so then we had Bobby Lashley versus Seth Rollins for #1 contendership of the U.S. title, and Seth wins via pedigree. Another incredible match. I mean, how could you not have an incredible match with these two guys?
Yeah.
After the match, Bobby attacks a ref. Pierce gets in Bobby's face, and Bobby gets fired. Like, they just straight up fired Bobby. No suspension or anything. He's just fired. So it's definitely a kayfabe firing, because I don't think we'll be seeing Bobby pop up in like AEW anytime soon.
Yeah.
But you know, it'll be awesome if they let Bobby go on excursion too, and he goes to New Japan. That would be fucking awesome.
That'd be pretty fucking cool. There's so many opportunities now that like I'm like
Yeah.
psyched about.
Imagine Bobby taking on like Naito.
That'd
Oh,
be scary.
oh man. Bobby versus I have Osprey in my mind, but like Seth versus Osprey, even though they fucking hate each other. I'm just imagining all these dream matches with New Japan now.
Yeah.
Dick Togo versus Bobby Lashley.
Actually, Evil versus Bobby Lashley would be.
I was thinking that
Evil
too.
If Evil took it seriously, it would be.
Yeah, like they bring in the Hurt Business to back Bobby, and like the two forces kind of eliminate each other, so it's just Bobby and Evil. That would be awesome. Oh, get Shelton back in New Japan.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Cedric versus TJP. Or Cedric versus Desperado. Oh my god.
That'd be fun.
Oh my god.
Even Cedric versus Master Wato.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Master Wato fan.
I'm not either, but I just think that that'd be an interesting matchup.
Yeah. Cedric versus Taguchi. That'd be hilarious.
That'd be funny.
So let's briefly talk about NXT. We already touched on the main gist of this. We didn't watch it, but the biggest thing that happened was Mandy Rose lost her title to Roxanne Perez. About 8-minute match, much shorter than Mandy deserved, and Roxanne too. But apparently, like, this show was like pretty decent, like much better than past NXTs. Which I feel like that's what's turned us off to NXT lately, is just like the quality's just been not good at all. Deadline though, it was very, very good, much better than regular TV.
Mm-hmm.
We had Dynamite, of course. We started off with the best of 7, Elite versus Death Triangle. Death Triangle wins with a reverse knee bar on Nick Jackson. Kenny gets on the mic and he says, "You want to make the hammer legal next time? You know what? Let's make all weapons legal. We'll make it no DQ." And they ran down the rest of the matches, and each match is going to have a different stipulation. I think the last match, if they get to it, will be an Escalera. What's it called? Escalera de Angel? No. It's like a ladder match. And
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
And it was like they did it in the past with Kenny and Hangman, and it was like one of the Young Bucks' best matches ever, one of Dynamite's best matches ever. So it'll be cool once we get there, because we know it's gonna go all the way to 7. We know it's gonna happen. There's gonna be a steel cage thrown in there too, false count anywhere, I believe.
No, it's just funny to like say like, we'll let all weapons be illegal, and it's like, I feel like that's the last thing we should be saying to Pac.
It should just be only hammers. Like, there's hammers everywhere. Like, different types of hammers, or like every match gets bigger and bigger hammers. So like next one's all bell hammers. Then it's like the Paul Bean hammer or
Ball peen?
ball peen. What's that? Paul Bean?
Ball bean.
Ball peen
That's when you want
hammers.
the hammer to be a little more PG rated instead of ball peen.
Then we have like the normal, like the standard hammer, but then we get like a sledgehammer after that.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
sledgehammers.
I respect this. I
So
think we should go to Tony Khan with these ideas.
we should, and he'll be like, "Oh, we'll do a best of 15."
He's like, I can think of so many hammers.
Oh God, we'll use jackhammers.
Hammerhead sharks.
So then we have the Acclaimed in the ring, but they're attacked by Sanjay Dutt and Saddam Singh. And Jeff Jarrett smashes a guitar over Max's head, and so that's gonna be like the next. They're the next contenders for the tag titles. I think it's Jarrett and Jay Lethal. We then had an interview with JAS. Jericho interrupts Garcia, and like as Garcia was talking about Final Battle, and Jericho tells Garcia to shadow Sammy on Rampage, and it's like, why should I shadow Sammy? Which apparently, like he said, Sammy's like his elder, which
Yeah.
Sammy is older than Garcia, but by like a couple of years.
Yeah.
I think
I
Sammy's
think that
like,
was like the half the joke, but like
mhm,
still, it was dumb.
yeah. And Sammy is rematching Mox on Rampage. We then
Rematch.
had Brian Cage versus Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy wins with a roll up. And Jungle Boy gets on the mic. He says he wants to fight Big Bill. Stokely comes out, but Lee Moriarty attacks Jungle Boy, and Big Bill wipes him out. And then Hook comes out for the save. So it'll be Jack Perry and Hook versus probably Lee and Big Bill. Can't wait for that red rum on Big Bill. They should have what?
Just the idea of like Hook just dangling.
They should have like Big Bill versus Hook and give Hook his first loss. I feel like that would be a good way to do it.
Yeah. I think that'd be interesting.
They should have Stokely win the FTW championship. That would be insane.
That would be the funniest in like the whole world.
We then had a promo with BCC. They say they're putting everyone on notice for 2023 now that they have 2 titles. Then we get House of Black versus the Factory. This is like a 2-second match. It starts with a brawl at ringside, but then Malachi wins with a black mass on QT. Straight up saying, we're not feuding with the Factory. We then had an interview with Britt Baker and Rebel. Sky Blue walks in, challenges Britt to a match on Rampage. And she's
It's like
like,
the dumbest promo.
yeah, she was like, you run your mouth a lot, but let's see how you do in a match. It's like, we see how she does in a match like every week. She gets booked the most of anyone in the women's division.
Yeah, it's like Sky Blue. Are you watching the product, babe?
Definitely not.
Like she very much said that like she was the veteran coming in to talk to like the young blood, and I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Oh, I forgot to mention too. I won the predictions for Deadline, and so
Oh yeah.
I am now the Pinfall Podcast prediction champion with a beautiful
That poor ugly
egg
egg.
trophy. Do not call it ugly. You're burying our trophy like that? My
Yeah, when
God.
it doesn't have its handsome little top hat on, sure I am.
It's a bowler hat, first of all, that you put on it, not a top hat. Get your own accessories right. But no, I am now the champion, and it will remain pristine and naked.
Naked.
And I think the next thing we predict on,
Naked. Get it? Get it? Negg.
eggnog.
Naked. Get it? Because it's an egg.
Yeah, I get it.
Egg.
Yeah. So next thing we do predictions on will be Wrestle Kingdom, which will be fucking massive. That's gonna be a big prediction to
When is
make.
that again?
I think January 4th.
You know, in my head, I'm like, January 4th, that's a ways away.
No, it's like 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
I think, too.
Yeah. We predict on it next weekend, I think. Or the weekend after.
We won't be doing a show this weekend.
Right. We will not be.
The holidays.
Yeah. So we then had Chris Jericho versus Action Andretti, and Jericho said he's going to wipe out this jobber to get his frustrations out, tune up a little bit in a tune-up match. But this was one of the biggest moments of Dynamite. Action Andretti beat Chris Jericho with a moonsault. Clean ass win for him. Probably the biggest moment of his career, if not his life. Super awesome, and he got the all elite graphic as well right after this.
Oh, so he is all elite?
He is, yeah. He even got
nice.
he got the wrestler of the week too.
Aw.
Yeah.
What a fun entrance.
And also, like, props to Jericho for like just eating a loss like that. A clean loss even. Talk about putting over young guys. Someone that's like never been on Dynamite before.
Yeah. That's pretty sick. It was so exciting to watch.
Oh yeah.
And everyone else was so excited.
Yeah. When he put him in the Lion Tamer, I was like, oh, that's it. That's it. But then he broke out of it. It was insane.
Yeah. That was wild.
Definitely moment of the night, if not of the week. We then had Ty Mello versus Ruby Soho. Ruby wins with a Destination Unknown. Anna Jay comes out and then attacks Ruby. And that's that pretty much. Then we had MJF versus Ricky Starks for the championship and the Dynamite Diamond Ring, and MJF wins with a low blow. It's like, I understand dirty shit's gonna happen, but you could do better than like knocking the ref and they just turn their back for a second, you know?
Yeah.
Get a little bit more creative than that. In an otherwise fantastic match. And then Bryan Danielson comes out and chases MJF around the ring. That's going to be an awesome match. I don't think they'll do like a low blow finish for that. That's got to be like... I hope MJF wins clean on that. Which would be insane.
Yeah.
And like we already mentioned, we didn't watch Impact this week. That's purely because I looked at the card and was like, oh, nothing's interesting. But turns out something interesting did happen. Motor City Machine Guns won the tag titles.
Yeah.
Which I think
I
think that was the first time they've won the tag titles. I think. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think you are.
I'm probably wrong. But yeah, good for them.
Feels wrong. Yeah.
I'm also glad they're not on Heath and Rhino anymore because they just were not doing anything for me.
No, yeah.
And I think the major players are up next for those titles, and major players versus Motor City Machine Guns will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that'll be a good time. I had to think who the major players were first. I always forget.
So then we had SmackDown. Oh, I didn't take any notes on. Oh no, we didn't watch Rampage. That's right.
Right, because Mox got his like ear ripped off, and I didn't want to watch that.
Well, it was also like nothing interesting happened on it either.
Yeah.
So we had SmackDown. We started off with Liv and Tegan Nox versus Damage Control for the tag titles. Damage Control wins via an over the moonsault. And a mysterious hooded person attacked Tegan. And I hate how they did this reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Reveal, quote unquote. So this person attacked Tegan. But then just later on in the night, I think Michael Cole was like, so it turns out the hooded person that attacked Tegan Nox before was Xia Li. It's like, what? Why have them hooded then?
Yeah.
Like, just have Xia Li come out like without a hood on, you know?
Yeah.
It's stupid. So then we get LA Knight in the ring. And LA Knight cuts a fantastic promo, by the way. Like, he gets super intense. Bray Wyatt then comes out. And immediately LA Knight attacks him. Kind of wipes him out in the corner. But then Uncle Howdy comes out. And this is huge because we thought Bray was Uncle Howdy.
Yeah.
So seeing that they're two separate people is huge for the story. It's a big development. LA Knight is terrified. And Uncle Howdy kind of just laughs on the ramp. It was creepy. It was nightmare fuel, and it was so well done.
Bray also looked kind of confused.
He did. Maybe it was the first time he's seen Uncle Howdy in person.
It could be.
Maybe I don't know. But it was also weird because Uncle Howdy looked like he was wearing the Uncle Harper mask. And this whole Uncle Howdy, Uncle Harper thing is kind of very confusing.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see how it develops.
They've been like edging us with this story, and I hate it because I want to know more.
But also, like, who would have thought that LA Knight would have been a good first feud for Bray to come back to?
Yeah.
Like, this has been so much fun. And LA Knight's been killing it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as you can expect, because he is like one of the most underrated promos in the business right now.
Yeah.
So then we had Ricochet versus Gunther for the Intercontinental title, and Gunther wins with the Last Symphony. Awesome match. Awesome. After the match, Imperium beats up Ricochet, and then Braun comes out for the save, and on Friday we'll be getting Braun and Ricochet versus Imperium in a Miracle on 34th Street fight. They do one of those every year. It's fun every time.
They better actually like make it fun though, because like every once in a while they like don't do anything like of note. It's kind of annoying.
Wasn't it last year where on Christmas they had Big E versus Apollo in the steel cage? I think they did that last year.
Maybe.
Let's see.
That would maybe line up.
Christmas SmackDown 2021. Can I get like a match lineup or something? Let's see. Oh, this December 25th. Oh, it was literally on Christmas last year. Okay, so maybe it was 2020 because last year it was 12 Days of Christmas Gauntlet match where Sammy won. Oh wow, Tony Storm fighting Charlotte Flair. Wow.
Ooh.
Let's see, what about 2020? I could have sworn there was a yes. Yeah, because Big E won the IC title on Christmas.
Gotcha.
I think that was in a steel cage. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. I don't know why. Oh, Roman fought KO in a steel cage match for the Universal title, and then separately Big E fought Apollo for the IC title. They made Christmas a big episode in 2020.
They tend to do that.
Last year's it didn't seem like anything big.
I think they try to make it a big deal because like they want it to be like a tradition where like you're like, all right, kids, let's gather around to watch the Christmas SmackDown.
Seeing the picture of 2020's Christmas episode, it's got like Street Profits with the tag belts. Lindsay Dorado's there. It's in the Thunderdome. And just Big E holding that IC title. Oh man, I miss those days. Oh man, and Gulak was there too in this picture. Oh Oh my god, that was when Charlotte Flair and Asuka were the tag team champions. I don't
Oh god, that
remember
was a
that at
weird
all.
that was a really weird time.
Yeah. All right. So, um, let's see, where were we? Then we had the Bloodline backstage. Jimmy's talking to Roman, but Roman's staying like very quiet, and Jimmy's like, "Are you sure? Like, is anything gonna happen with Sammy tonight?" Um, Pierce walks in, and Paul Heyman suggests to Pierce, Roman and Sammy versus KO and anyone of his choice, and so that will be coming up later. Then we had Legado del Fantasma versus Hit Row versus Viking Raiders in a triple threat for a shot at the tag belts. Hit Row wins via back body drop. There was a little scary moment in this match where Top Dollar went for a dive, didn't quite make it. Apparently his leg gave out,
Yeah.
but he's fine
It's
now.
a shame because like people are making fun of him and it's like, oh,
Yeah,
it's just kind of a shit attempt. That's all.
I'm sure he's done stuff like that before because I feel like he wouldn't do it unless he's practiced it before.
Yeah, I don't think you should do that if you haven't practiced it before, really.
And yeah, he said his leg gave out, which is why he was limping afterwards. Um, but it's a shame. We'll see it on Botchamania some point soon. So then we had the Bloodline in the ring, and they're inducting Sammy as an official Uso, but Roman's like, hold up, and Roman definitely doesn't feel very trusting of Sammy now.
Yeah.
And they're talking about who KO's partner is gonna be, and John Cena appears on the Tron, and he says he'll team with KO against Roman and Sammy on the December 30th episode. That's gonna be awesome. Cena's always great to see on TV, and yeah, it'll be a really fun match. It'll be his appearance of 2022.
Just in time.
Mm-hmm. So that's SmackDown. Rampage didn't really have much going on. Mox fought Sammy Guevara. Sammy pulled Mox's earring out, and it was gruesome. Like he yanked that shit and it wouldn't come out. Like it was like legitimately in there, not like the septum piercing that Batista had, or that I'm pretty sure was just like fake. But yeah, he like legitimately pulled it out of his ear, and it's nasty.
I hate that shit.
Yeah. Which I feel like that was definitely Mox's idea, because Mox loves that shit.
Mox is a psychopath.
Yeah. All right, so that is our recap of this week's wrestling. You want to talk about the best 5 matches of the week?
Sure.
Now that we're getting down to the wire of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So, best match of the week. It's gonna be between 2 that you haven't seen, even though I definitely suggest you do watch them. But Yuta and Garcia, or FTR and the Briscoes. I'm gonna say FTR and the Briscoes.
I would probably have said that anyways, so.
Maybe we'll watch that today. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then 2 is Yuta and Garcia. 3, I'd probably say the men's Iron Survivor match.
Okay.
And I apologize. A lot of these are ones you have not seen. Then 4, I'd say Shane Taylor Promotions versus Swerve in Our Glory.
Okay.
And then, would you say Ricochet versus Gunther?
That was a pretty sick match. I mean, like, that was a sick match in, like, the sense that, like, I didn't really know where it was going.
Yeah. Alternatively, it would be Top Flight versus The Kingdom, but I think Ricochet and Gunther was better than that.
Okay.
Cool. So those are our top 5. Briscoes versus FTR, Yuta versus Garcia, men's Iron Survivor, Shane Taylor Promotions versus Swerve in Our Glory, and Ricochet versus Gunther. All right, and now we've got nothing to predict for.
Crazy.
Yeah.
The end of the year is like so weird.
Yeah, because we're gonna have a lot of stuff at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
We've got the
It all
Rumble.
kicks off.
Hmm.
So it all kicks off.
Yeah, we've got the Rumble. We've got 2 days of Wrestle Kingdom. We've got there's Hard to Kill. I think is in January.
I think so.
No AEW stuff. New Year's Evil. Um, they're not doing day one this year.
No, they're not. Triple H put the kibosh on that.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's another New Japan thing. New Year's Bash or something.
That would make sense, yeah.
That might be it. Because we watched the Noah New Year thing this year, but I don't think we're gonna do it this year. Although the what is it?
That was super fun.
Yeah, Muda versus Shinsuke will be happening, so maybe we'll watch that.
Oh yeah, maybe.
So a lot to think about. A lot to watch.
Yeah.
All
We'll be
right.
tired again.
Huh?
We'll be tired again soon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because we're starting to enter that time of the year where it's like wrestling all the time, constantly, nonstop.
Yeah,
And
once it
then it
gets
ramps up until April.
yeah, WrestleMania time will be like every day there'll be something wrestling.
WrestleMania time is always so fun. It's like Christmas,
Mm,
but for wrestling.
yeah. What was that one show? Was it WrestleCade? WrestleCon?
I know
Um
what you're talking about. I don't really remember the name of it though.
that was a lot of fun too. Cuz
That was
it
super
was
fun.
like one day we were watching the GCW show, WrestleCon.
Oh, Bloodsport, yeah.
What? Oh yeah, Bloodsport. And I think NXT Stand and Deliver was on at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So we had so much going on. Oh my god. All right. Uh we're not going to be around next weekend?
No, because Christmas.
Right. So no recap next week, and I don't think much is going to be happening anyway. So oh, there's the holiday show for Dynamite though. That'll be pretty interesting. But no
Yeah,
week
that'd be fun.
yeah, no weekly recap for that. We'll probably like live tweet it or something. Um we'll be back on Tuesday for our 2K22 stream as always. Big stuff happening there. Now that we're
The
back,
H2 excitement
it
continues.
will continue
Sorry, dude.
until like 2025. um Liz, would you like to close out the show for us?
I scared the cat. Yeah, sure. If you tuned in today, thank you so much. And if you tune in the future, thank you so much. Check these episodes out on Spotify, YouTube, and any place that you get your local retailing podcasts. I don't know what I'm saying there. Your local
Your
podcast.
local retail.
Your local retail.
Check
We're at
us out at
Walmart.
Radio Shack.
Please tune in on Tuesday. It'll be super fun. It always is super fun. Pepita will probably also be there. You just
No,
won't see it.
she's banned.
Oh,
Yeah. After what she did this week? No way.
you're right. That was a bit much.
Yeah.
She went overboard.
Yeah.
Anyways, please tune in. It'll be fun. I'll be there.
I will be too, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
And thank you for watching, everybody. Follow and subscribe, all that jazz. All of our stuff, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Spotify. It's all Pinfall Podcast. I'm at the Mark Cameron on Twitter. Liz is at Eli is at Elaine23. And we'll see you all on Tuesday for 2K22. And then the 30th, no, 31st, New Year's. Do New Year's Eve? Yeah, during the afternoon, we won't be doing anything really, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if New Year's Evil's happening that day.
Well, we'll find out, I'm sure.
Yeah. All right, again, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you on Tuesday. Have a great rest of your weekend and a great start to your holiday break if you got one. We'll see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.